Mega Gengar EX leads the way today with its insane ability that reduces prize cards your opponent takes for KOs. Facing off against it is Mega Charizard X EX. We took a short break to grow the deep-rooted family with a precious baby girl, and now the games continue. John wins the coin flip and makes me go first. I'm playing the Gengar deck, and I've paired it with Marnie's Grimmsnarl, so the idea is to just get some of these Impidimps down and Ghastly so I can set up the Gengar as early as possible to reduce the amount of prizes he takes. The Gengar only reduces prizes if the Pokemon's knocked out by damage and by an EX Pokemon. That's not going to be a problem considering he's playing the Mega Charizard XEX. So on his turn, he's going to play Iona, resetting our hands. He started Pidgey, and here we see in his hand he has the Cleffa, so he's going to bench that, and he's just going to retreat this Pidgey. He needs to get a Charmander down to really have a shot in this game, so he's thinking about the Ultra Ball in his hand if he can afford to use it. So he discards Arven and Rare Candy, and that's going to find him one Charmander. And the Grasping Draw will go ahead and fill his hand back up anyway, so that's going to draw 6 cards for him in this situation. My turn, I draw for turn. I'm going to start with Rare Candy and go into Grimmsnarl. That's going to let me get up to 5 energy from the deck and attach them to Marnie's Pokemon. So the main thing here is I did evolve the benched Impidimp, and I got 4 energy, and put 2 on the Grimmsnarl and 2 on the active Impidimp. I was trying to figure out if there was a way for me to go into Gengar, but there wasn't, so I could have just evolved the active Impidimp instead, because I just have to evolve that Ghastly into a Haunter. I'm taking some time to think about it, but there's no other play. So I retreat the Impidimp, boss the Charmander, and that's going to let me take 2 prizes with the Shadow Bullet, taking out the Charmander and the Cleffa on the bench. He promotes the Pidgey. He's going to play 2 Nest Balls. That's going to let him get Charmander. He's considering which Charmanders he wants. We have the new 80 HP Charmander that it has free retreat if it has no energy, but you can't get it with Buddy Buddy Poffin. He benches the Fez from hand and draws 3 cards with Flip the Script. There comes Oricorio, which is, if he has a Mega Fire Pokemon in play, he can attach as much energy, fire energy from his hand to a bench Fire Pokemon as he'd like. So he's going to attach Evolution to the Pidgey, attach the Fire Energy, and get 2 Charmeleon into play. On my turn, I have the Mega Gengar, so I'm going to go ahead and evolve into it. And I go ahead and attach a 3rd energy to it. Its attack takes 2 energy, but it moves an energy off, so I'm just thinking about later trying to close out this game by taking out these Oricorio and Fezandipity potentially. So, but for right now, I'm just going to be using this Shadow Bullet attack. There's no reason to retreat. I don't have a Gust that I can use. And I put 30 on the Fezandipity, so that puts it down to 180, where Shadow Bullet can clean it up later. He promotes the Oricorio as he doesn't want to get stuck with a 2 retreat cost Pokemon, and he doesn't want to move up the Fez and get stuck with it either. So he benches the Pidgey and plays Iono. I'm going to draw 3. He's still on 6. So he's going to draw a full hand over there. This Oricorio's a little dangerous because he knows that I can retreat into the Gengar and knock it out if he leaves it in the active, and he needs it to stay in play if he ever wants to reach the full potential of Mega Charizard this game. So he goes ahead and evolves into a Mega Charizard, and now he's trying to figure out how to follow that up. The Oricorio has 1 retreat cost, but he doesn't really have a way to get the energy this turn. So he's going to take a while to consider. And so he benches Charmander, retreats the Oricorio, and just puts up the Charmander because he doesn't really want to give up any of his other Pokemon. I'll draw Lily's Determination, play it. That's going to let me draw 6 cards after shuffling my hand into the deck. It draws 8 if you're on 6 prize cards, so very good in the early game and still good in the late game. And with that, I'm just going to go Shadow Bullet, put 30 on the Pidgey, and go down to 2 prize cards. And here he is in the same situation, trying to figure out exactly what he wants to put up. He goes with the Pidgey, knowing that if he finds the Pidgeot, that he'll be able to free retreat into the Charizard to attack, and that'll also leave the Charizard on the bench where the Oricorio can put 2 energy on it so that it'll be able to attack. Here he's going to play Ultra Ball. He doesn't need the Pidgeot, or the Pidgeotto, because he's looking for Pidgeot. And right here he throws away Counter Catcher, which is pretty much too powerful of a card, I think, to be thrown away in this situation. He grabs the Pidgeot EX, and he does have the rare candy, so there's rare candy, Pidgeot, and he's going to use that quick search, and he gets superior. He's thinking about superior energy retrieval. He has three fire in the discard, and that'll work. So he would like to have a little bit more, like be able to take the full 4 cards with it, but it's just not possible. Even if you discard a fire energy with it, you can't grab that same energy back. So he's going to play Fire Breather, and there's 8 fire energy in the deck to start with. Fire Breather lets you search up to 7, but there's only 3 in the deck at this point. And then here we're going to. He ended up getting energy retrieval instead of the full superior, mainly because of the hand size, and like I said, there was only 3. But here we're actually going to talk about how he should have discarded the fire that was in his hand instead of the counter catcher. So we're going to get that counter catcher back into hand because it's just too powerful. It'll allow him to take out that Gengar here. So he gets 2 energy back with the energy retrieval. And with the energy in his hand, he's going to put 2 on the Charizard and then retreat into it. And then if he puts 3 on the Oricorio, he can discard all 3 of those, plus 1 off the Charizard to do 360 damage. The counter catcher will bring up the Gengar. It has 350 HP. Now, he will only take 2 prizes for it. He accidentally picks up 3 at first, but we fix it real quick. I promote the Marnie's Grimmsnarl. I'm going to look over the discard. I still feel pretty good spot because he can one-shot my Grimmsnarl, but I can two-shot this Zard. So I do 180 to it, 30 to the Oricorio, so now the Oricorio is a liability for him too. And on his turn, he's going to be able to quick search, get superior so that he can get enough energy again. And although he can't attach to the active, he just needs one more energy on the Charizard EX to be able to attack with it. So he discards Ultra Ball and Rare Candy, attaches for turn, and then he can just put 3 energy on the Oricorio like last turn. And that's what he does. He has the air balloon, but he doesn't have another Mega Charizard to retreat into, which would have been pretty nice. I don't. Yeah, here I just get Night Stretcher, bring it back, and take the final knockout there. In game 2, we decide to switch decks. John saw the Gengar deck's pretty consistent at setting up and pretty powerful, so he really wanted to give it a shot. So I'm going to be playing the Charizard deck going first, and I'm going to have to do the same thing he did before, Ultra Ball for a Charmander. It doesn't feel great, but at least when there's a Cleffa in play, you know you can draw cards later. So I'd attach an energy to the Charmander and pass the turn. He started the Pheasantipity, and he's going to play Arven to search any item and tool card from the deck. So as long as he has an energy in hand, he can just go for the Poffin Evo play. And you can see he gets a little ahead of himself, but that's what he's planning on. The Poffin, TM Evo, then he'll be able to search out Impidimp and Ghastly off of the Poffin. This is going to allow him to be able to evolve into that Haunter and Morgrim quickly. And then next turn, all he's got to do is find the stage 2s, which is pretty nice with Spike Muth's Gym being able to search any Marnie's Pokemon. Makes Grimmsnarl always super easy to find. Alright, yep, there's the energy. Uses the evolution attack to evolve both bench Pokemon. He's just making sure there's nothing else he needs to do before that. And now it's going to be my turn. While he evolves, though, I'm going to go ahead and start playing. I play Arven, and I'm got a pretty rough hand here, but my goal here is to, set up the bench a little bit better and then be able to play down the hand as much as possible so I can get as much draw as possible out of this Cleffa. So I'm going to get Poffin and get a Pidgey and a Charmander. Then I'm going to be able to play the Rare Candy and put the Mega Charizard into play and attach the Air Balloon to it. And that's going to let me draw 5 cards off of this Grasping Draw. John's turn. He already has the stage 2s in hand. There comes down Mega Gengar and the Grimmsnarl. He's going to use that ability to search out some energy. He's just going to get 2. He's making sure he doesn't have an energy switch in his hand, because sometimes we like to get 1 and then energy switch it to the Gengar to help line up that attack later. But it's not there, so he's just going to get the 2, conserve the energy. And here he is, retreats into it. He's wishing he had a Gust so he could do the same thing I did last game and put that Clef on the bench to make a easier knockout. But it's not there, so he's just gonna attach energy to the Gengar before playing Lily's Determination, which is gonna let him draw 8 cards after shuffling his hand into the deck. He's set up pretty good. It would probably be nice for him to be able to get another Impidimp down to line up another Grimmsnarl later in the game. Let's see if he finds the other Spikemuth's gym right there, so that's what he's going to do. He's going to use it. Searches any Marnie's Pokemon. Doesn't feel as good when you're getting the basics versus the evolutions, but works in this scenario just fine. And there's Shadow Bullet. He puts the 30 on the Pidgey. That Pidgey doesn't have a 70 HP, so he's a little guy on the bench there always. I like playing the 50 HP Call for Family, though, because it helps you set up a lot of times. And here we go. I go ahead and evolve into a Charmeleon and play Buddy Buddy Poffin. And here I'm just trying to see. There's no way for me to find Oricorio right now, so I can't even do much with this Charizard. So I'm just going to free retreat because the air balloon. And I'm trying to figure out what to put up because I'm pretty much just going to be sacrificing it to this Grimmsnarl if he doesn't play a Gust. So I go with the Charmander and Evolution, get Pidgeotto and another Mega Charizard just to get some more HP on the board there. And he won't be able to Shadow Bullet away this Pidgeotto if I'm able to find the Pidgeot. So on his turn, he's going to evolve into Morgrim. I didn't take a knockout, so that Pheasantipity's not live. He puts the second energy on the Gengar, so now it is an attacking threat. It does 230 damage for 2 energy, but it has to move an energy to one of your bench Pokemon. So I promote the Pidgeotto that has 60 damage on it now. I do not find Pidgeot. No way to find a Pidgeot. No way to find Oricorio to be able to line up any bigger attacks. I have the um, Fire Energy supporter, but I don't want to play it because he likely would just Iono all the energy to the bottom of the deck. So I just have to pass because if I retreat this Pidgeotto, it's going to get knocked out on the bench anyways. So on John's turn, he's going to check his hand, play Arven. Well, he decides to go ahead and play the Spikemuth Gym first. The Arven's still in his hand, and he's going to use that ability. There's only one energy in the deck, but he has another one in hand that he can attach for turn. So now he has 3 attacking options. And now he plays the Lily's Determination just to draw a fresh 6 cards. He knows he's in a pretty good spot, so he's not too worried. He just doesn't want to overlook anything. And the 30 damage from the Shadow Bullet's not going to matter too much since 180 twice is enough to knock out these Mega Charizards. And as soon as he takes this knockout on the Pidgeotto, he's going to go to 3 prize cards. So now I'm in a really tight spot. So I draw a rare candy for turn. It's not going to be very helpful here. I play Energy Retrieval just to get 1 energy to put on the Charizard in case I'm able to find a play later on. I can attach for turn to it, but really not anything I can do. He does Shadow Bullet, so now there's 210 on the active and 30 on the bench. I play Chi-Yu just to put a single prizer in play and retreat into it, trying to keep me alive. He knocks it out, puts 30 on the other Charizard. Now I draw the Pidgeotto for turn, so I just have to retreat into the other Charizard, and, the writing's on the wall here. I draw. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do here. I find Artisan, but it's not going to matter, and I concede, knowing that he's just going to take the knockout next turn. The third game, he wants to keep the Gengar deck, and I'm going to play Charizard. I make him go first since I lost that game. He's going to start Impidimp, and then puts down Artisan, and goes ahead and uses it to find a basic. He's going to find the Ghastly. And, a lot of these decks like to go second to be able to set up better, because there's not a lot they can do on the first turn. He decides that Ultra Ball is really not worth playing. Since I'm playing the Charizard deck, he knows I can't take a turn 1 knockout, so he's not in really any trouble here, just leaving the 2 on the board. My turn. I've started Pheasantipity in the active, and I'm going to play Poffin, finding my two basics, likely a Charmander and a Pidgey. And I have the TM Evo in hand, but I don't have any energy. I go ahead and bench another Charmander from hand. I really had wanted to either do the TM Evo or the Cleffa play, but they're just not possible because of no energy. I'm going to go ahead and use the Artisan to get the 80 HP Charmander, which will give me a free retreat option if he's able to take a knockout next turn. So he's going to play Arven, finds Rare Candy, and the Air Balloon. Alright, he switches out the Air Balloon for Evo. He uses the Artisan to get another Impidimp. So that's going to allow this active Impidimp to be able to use the Evo play. As long as he has the energy. So here comes Ultra Ball. Throwing away a Night Stretcher. And Arven. That's going to find him the Grimmsnarl. So he goes Rare Candy Grimmsnarl. So he probably could have just grabbed the Air Balloon if he didn't plan on doing the Evo play this turn. There comes the Impidimp. Getting 2 energy on it and the Grimmsnarl. That clears some energy out of the deck too, so he's more likely to draw better cards. So he does the Shadow Bullet, hits 180 to the Fez and 30 to the Pidgey again, so the poor Pidgey's in trouble again. And here I have to go Ultra Ball and find the Pidgeotto so that he can't just knock it out. And I'm in the same position I was last time of just hoping to find something. The Fez is also going to get knocked out here. He does have the ball, so he's going to be able to take the Pidgeotto and Fez for 3 prize cards. I put up the free retreat Charmander. It's important to note that its ability gives it free retreat if it has no energy. Otherwise, it does have 2 retreat costs. So I'm able to evolve into the Mega Charizard. And I'm going to get a Cleffa off of the Artisan, attach the Evo to it just so I can draw more cards with the Grasping Draw ability. The Fez is a little risky since, he could boss again, but it's the best bet I had to keep playing. So he knocks out the Fez, puts 30 on the 70 HP Charmander. I have to promote the free retreat Charmander again. I evolve into a Charmeleon to... And then there's not really much I can do. I have Prime Catcher in hand, but he has plenty of energy that I can't trap anything. Now, one big thing that I've missed here and overlooked is that I could have used the Artisan just to get another Pidgey down, which is going to matter because I have Pidgeot EX in hand. And if I were to draw a rare candy, that would be another play that's live. But I ended up just doing the Evo play, getting 2 Charizard, or the second Charizard EX in play, and the new Charmeleon that has 110 HP and does 40 for 1 fire energy. Pretty boring, just a little more bulky. And it is of note that all the current Charmanders do rotate in G, so that will be the only Charmander next year after rotation. So I go ahead and attach energy to the other Charizard, attach Air Balloon to the active to retreat it, and pass the turn. So if he finds a Gust ability, I'm just out of the game. Luckily, he doesn't. My turn, I draw the rare candy. So it would have been really nice to have the Pidgey in play. I'm going to Prime Catcher, try to trap the Ghastly. So my idea here is to force him to retreat it. And then when he takes the knockout here, I have the boss next turn to try to trap the Ghastly again, because I know he's pretty low on energy. But as soon as I gust this, I look, count his energy, make sure there's nothing else. Now I'm going to boss up the Ghastly, and I am going to use the Artisan, so that next turn I can do the Pidgey play. But he's already showed he has the Dark and wins the game.